It is back to the vintage house today, and we are pretty much left with two options at this point. Buy in bulk, do a clean out. Will the estate trustee let us do either? I don't know. We've been buying the best of the best at this house. Well, I've been buying pretty much anything and everything because I love it, but we're at the point where financially we cannot keep buying things, or we cannot buy things that we spend $10 on that realistically on the flea market, online market, are only worth $2 to $3. Now, these items need to be saved. They are great vintage treasures that do not need to go in the dumpster, but at what price? So either buy in bulk, or they say, hey, you do the clean out. In exchange for the clean out, you can take anything else you want. We're going to find out what happens today, so join me. We are going back to the vintage house, back to see all the vintage treasures, and hopefully come back with a deal.
Well, you know our dilemma, that's what I was getting ready to tell you. Our dilemma is the timing.
Yeah.
I mean, right now we have picked out stuff that we found interesting, whether to keep it for ourselves or we know someone, you know, Charlie will buy this and Joanne will buy that.
Yeah.
And now we're at a point now where the stuff is still nice and still sellable.
Yeah.
But it's really more, I'm looking around, it really is a great summer flea market load.
Mm-hmm.
It's super.
It's a summer market.
But for these guys, it's hard, you know, to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just was trying.
If you want to take everything, you can take everything. Thing down here, this and that, whatever.
Okay.
There's a lot of tools. There's a lot of the tools will bring you good money.
Right.
You got that rotor. You got the. My son paid $25 just for that. Whatever crank it is, I call.
Yeah.
He called it something. So you know.
No, I understand what you're doing. I just was throwing numbers at you. Just again, I didn't sit down and figure it out. I'm just throwing numbers at you. I think that's really the number, don't you think?
Do you think she would?
What else do you think? I don't know if she'll go for it, but well, I'm just thinking, spitballing. I mean, I was gonna give her, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe just ask and then see. Yeah. See what happens.
Yes.
I mean, this piece is really nice too. You just gotta see how long it's gonna take to make your money back. Especially because it's winter time. That's a lot to store. Do you need help?
No, I'm trying to turn around.
Then I want,
It says a Hess Home Electric.
then would you make any money back with the scrap?
I think there is, yeah, quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, I think we would make the sponge back. We milk the sponge pretty well, you know. The number I was spitballing with her
Yeah.
was only in my head, but.
Oh, this is nice. This is a cool stool over here. I missed that.
Hess Home Electric.
Oh, it's a little chair. That's adorable. Did you see this? I mean, not like this is gonna make or break. There's a nice little. Oh, it has the decal on it, but still. I don't know. I mean, there's whatever.
Electric sewing machine.
So this is negotiation because, you know, it's nice to buy in bulk and say you're buying everything, but then again, you know, you have to remember how long to get your money back, your work.
Another $100, baby.
Are you going to just break even, or are you going to make a profit?
Is there any other number that, I mean, so I gotta sell all this stuff before I make any profit at all for all the work. Is there any other number that'll make you happy?
Well, I just threw that number out.
I know. Well, you know, you were doing your spitballing with me. I spitballed you, and we're both spitballing back and forth.
Doing back and forth things, yeah.
Well, no, I'm just trying to see.
You know what you can do for me?
What's
you
that?
Plug this freezer and see if it works, and then get $100 for the freezer. Oh, I don't know
What
if the
is
freezer
going
works.
on?
They said if the freezer works. What do they mean by
Get
works?
electrocuted. Someone's got a freezer.
Yeah, they said they'll give me $100.
Yeah, you know, we did the same thing at a house. We were cleaning out.
Yeah. not plugged in. So if it's, you know, the light went on.
We had it plugged in.
So what was the outcome? Well, this gives you a little bit more of an insight as to how this type of situation works. Because I think in the terms of YouTube reselling, you see usually the, you know, bought out in the state, bought out this. I mean, I use that in my titles, but there's a lot of in between work and negotiations that have to occur in order to seal the deal. You have people that have, you know, obligations to estates. They have emotional attachments to estates. They have financial obligations. There's all sorts of different aspects of the situations, and you kind of have to take those all into consideration. So yes, we went there today with the hopes of either buying in massive bulk. You know, we're going to buy all the books, we're going to buy all the clothing, we're going to buy all the linens. Take it all. This is the, you know, what we're going to offer you. Because remember, we have picked this house 2 or 3 times prior. So all of the really, what we thought were the, you know, the big ticket items, the big money makers, or things that we knew would sell immediately, those have been picked, they have been purchased, and a lot of it has already been sold. Now, the items that are left, because this house is still full of a lot of stuff, and it's a lot of really great vintage stuff that is sellable, usable, but it's not you're not going to get $200 for that. You're not going to get $100 for that. It's going to be a lot of the nickel and diming that is common at flea markets. So, you know, $3, $5, $10, $15, maybe $20. And with that, you cannot be offering, you know, $50 for something that you're only going to be able to sell for $45 in terms of reselling. So we knew we either had to buy in bulk, because we could not financially keep buying items that are now, you know, $2 to $5 items. Again, not everything. Or we would offer to do the clean out. We've done clean outs before. We can get the dumpster. We can have everything gone, because that is your ultimate goal. It's a trustee's ultimate goal. They want the house cleaned out so that it can get put on the market, and you know, the estate can move forward. We offered a price to do a clean out with a credit, because we would be taking a lot of stuff to sell. You know, we're not just putting it all into the dumpster. That's not going to happen, because we still see the value in a lot of these things. But that was not a go for the estate trustee. And it got to where they actually offered a bulk price for everything, with a few things taken out of some furniture pieces, but basically almost everything in the home for X amount. And that amount was just a couple $100 more than what we wanted to pay, because again, you have to remember, we've picked what we've thought the best things were. Though I think something's cute and I'm like, I have to have this. So we've done that. And then there's the whole work involved. I hear it often, we hear it often in this, you know, reselling business. Well, it's so easy. You know, that could probably bring $100 to the flea market. I've seen those online for $75, or those are really popular now. And it's not that easy. Now, some things are in high demand, some things are valuable. You put it out on a flea market table and boom, someone comes up, you name your price and it's gone. But not everything's like that, especially when you have your flea market inventory, essentially. So for us, looking at the work involved in packing everything up, well, sorting, boxing, packing it all up, either lugging it up the stairs or lugging it down the stairs, taking it to the flea market, we wanted it to be just a little less to kind of cover that labor involved. Because yes, there is labor. There's labor. It happens. And so we came to another price, and we're going to wait and see if the trustee agrees to that price. And if they do, then we will go back and begin the process of, I guess, again, picking and packing and moving everything that we think would be sellable at the flea market. There are a lot of items there that just aren't. You know, how often you go to your own thrift stores and you see shelf after shelf after shelf of coffee mugs. How many coffee mugs do you have in your house? Now, some of them have a special memory. You bought them as a souvenir from someplace. It may have been your uncle's coffee mug that you inherited. But if it's just a plain Jane coffee mug, we don't want those. Now, could we donate? Well, we're going to leave them there, because then whatever we don't take, if this deal goes through, will be the responsibility of the estate trustee to deal with as they see fit. Which means they're probably going to have to hire a cleanout company to come in and remove the stuff, unless, you know, they don't want anything going in the garbage or in the dumpster, including, you know, your plain Jane coffee mugs. Then it'll be on them to donate it. We won't have to make that decision. We won't have to worry about that. We just have to go in and pack up whatever we think will be good for the flea market. Another problem is that, and also why, you know, we kind of negotiated on the price, is that this is not prime flea market season. By the time this deal is done, it will be mid to end of December, and people aren't coming out to the flea market in, you know, droves of people. Droves of people. It's not like it's a, you know, a June Sunday or a June Saturday at the flea market. It's the middle of, it's going to be December, January, and February. So you might have really great stuff, and it is really nice stuff, but you're not getting all your, you know, your Sunday afternoon buyers, your casual Saturday buyers that might see that little lamp and think it'll look great in their study. It's usually at this time of year, it's the resellers, it's the vendors, it's the, you know, the high-end dealers going to the flea markets to stock up. So there's also the aspect of storage. You're going to have to look at either finding a place to store it, pay for storage, or whatever. You're going to have to store it. So that was another consideration that was also taken into consideration to try and determine the amount. It's easy to say, oh sure, you know, you're buying the whole contents of a house. Are you crazy? Any amount they say. You have to look at the work. You have to look at the inventory that's involved, and you have to kind of estimate, when will I be able to make back? Well, you have to just break even. It's not even about making money. You first have to sell, you know, say, I'm just throwing a number out there, it's not the number. Say a person said, okay, you can have the entire contents of this house for $3,000. You first have to kind of evaluate what is in here that I can make my $3,000 on. Are there, you know, 3 pieces I can get $1,000 for? Are there, you know, how many pieces will it take for me to just break even? And then how much more am I going to make? I don't know, I think it's kind of silly to spend $3,000 to make $500 if you end up selling everything and your only profit is $500. You know, you pay $3,000, you make $3,500, your profit is $500, but then you have to subtract all your labor and everything else. So, I mean, there are some resellers that do that. That money is money. But I don't know. This might have been a ramble that you might not have understood either. It gets really tricky because we want to be fair with the homeowners, the trustees, and we want to be fair with them. We want them to be comfortable with what we're doing. We want to be able to help them reach their ultimate goal, but we also have to realize that this is our job. This is work, and it's so much fun picking through an estate, but at the end of the day, you know, what you pick and what you're paying for are you going to make not only your money back, but are you going to make profit on that? Because that is how you pay your bills. There are some scenarios where you go into and the people, they don't want anything. They say, you know, give me X amount. I don't care how much you give me. I just don't want the stuff anymore. And that's just their mind frame. That's their mindset, is they're just tired of the stuff. So some instances you don't provide any cash, but you're providing all the labor to schlep everything out of there because they're not doing it. So it's kind of like, you know, you're getting paid in items for doing the work. And there are some cleanouts that are like that because there's just so much stuff, and it's a lot of work that the homeowner, the trustee, etc., does not want to do. So they see it as your payment is the items, and they don't have to necessarily pay for the work that you're doing to clean it out. But every situation is different. That's why I tend to not really offer a lot of advice or business advice on cleanouts or picking an estate and buying an estate, because what I pick and what I buy and what I sell might not necessarily do well for you in your area. How we operate a clean out, a pick in this area might not work for the person that you're doing that pick clean out for, and might not work in your area. Everyone's different. But yeah. So what's going to happen? I don't know. If you see future videos where I'm back at the house and I'm boxing stuff up, then you know that the deal went through. If you don't, then you know that the deal did not go through, and it's just it's on to the next. But this house did have a lot of great vintage items in it. It was really nice to be able to go in, listen to the stories, see these things firsthand, and save what we could. Save what we could, resell what we could, keep what we could. So what is next? We'll just have to wait and see. It's always interesting to see how these situations unfold. But I hope you enjoyed this vintage house, these last few episodes of the vintage house. I couldn't think of the word. The saga, not a saga, but it's been fun. It's always great. I will go into any old house any day where they've saved stuff. I'm still waiting for that like 1980s house though. That's I need that. I love, you know, the pre-1970s homes, the 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, but I think to get into a house that has 1980s, between the toys, the clothing, the decor, I would be in heaven. And I probably would not be able to, I wouldn't want to sell a lot. Well, if it was like the toys that I loved. He-Man, I will sell He-Man any day of the week. I don't care. G.I. Joe, I've kept a few G.I. Joes that I had when I was little. I'll sell G.I. Joe. Teddy Ruxpin, of course, it's going to stay with me. But it would just be really, really, I think, fun to go into a house like a 1980s time capsule. We need to find that next. We need to find that. It's got to be out there. I know it. Anyway, I've rambled on too much. We'll wait and see what happens with this house. Stay tuned for that. And I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little series. That's the word I was looking for. And stay tuned for more adventures here at Paper and Mood.